Hey there, baseball fans. Nathan Rohde and Shooter Hunt here with the latest episode of Coffee and Curveballs. Shooter, we had another weekend of tournaments across the country with fall championships. We had action in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, as well as the Pacific Northwest. So today we're going to take a look at some standouts.
Yeah, I was up in Washington seeing some of those Northwest guys, which was a lot of fun, but I was still following along on Twitter. A lot of good action across the country.
There certainly was. So we'll start off in Alabama, where our guys down there had an event at the Hoover Met Complex, and they got to see Colton Keith, who we know very well, a legitimate two-way guy out of Mississippi, left-handed hitter, also gets on the bump and throws in the low 90s, but really the value is in that left-handed stick.
Yeah, it's a real helium potential from Colton Keith, and he moved over from Arizona. He's an Arizona State recruit down in Biloxi now, going to be at the head of that Mississippi class, looking for some serious draft potential.
No doubt. He had several extra base hits on the weekend, so continuing to do what we saw him do all summer. But then down in Florida, Shooter, we've got a guy who's from Minnesota but now in Florida. Keith moved from Arizona, Mississippi. Mac Horvath goes from Minnesota to IMG Academy in Florida, and he was at the Florida Fall Championships this weekend, also showing some extra base hits on the weekend and impressing our guys down there.
Yeah, Horvath was obviously an MVP at the PBR Future Games a couple years ago. Battled some injuries, some freak accidents on the field the last couple years. Was a little behind, but I loved him a couple weeks ago. In Indianapolis, I think Florida's going to do great things for him.
Yeah, they certainly will. So then in Lake Point, we had the PBR Cup with Ryan Hagenow pitching for Exposure Baseball, who's a tall, physical, lean right-handed pitcher. You and I were talking about him, and we didn't discuss this before it actually became evident on the phone. I was looking at him, I was like, this guy kind of reminds me of a right-hander from a couple of years ago, looking at that delivery, just in the delivery, not necessarily the stuff. And then you said the same exact thing, and we were talking about Ethan Hankins with that kind of quick pace delivery and lower slot.
Yeah, and the ball jumps out of that hand, those low 90s, but he's also got a real good slider. So Hagenow, a good one to know in Tennessee. Always good players coming out of that state.
No doubt. So right-hander there in Ryan Hagenow. You, Shooter, were up in the Pacific Northwest where you guys had the fall championships up there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the new level, great come-from-behind victory after they dropped the first game of the tournament. They came back to win it. As always, we had the liquid sunshine coming down on us on Sunday, but they battled through it. A.J. Guerrero, at 21, committed to the University of Washington. Thought he did a great job throughout the weekend. He's a physical presence at the plate, good athlete who plays hard all the time, real power projection from the right side. Evan Scavato, a 20 utility guy committed to the University of Portland. Go Pilots. He had a great weekend. Just one of those blue-collar players, mostly second baseman, but he was in right field for a lot of the weekend, making some good plays. Type of guy you want in your team, dirtball. Really nice player. So congratulations to that new level team that won the championship. But also there was Showtime. And Showtime is a good program out of Washington. They had an uncommitted 21, an outfielder who was playing center field throughout the weekend, Kyle Hennington. Smaller left-handed stick, 5'10", 155 pounds, plays hard in center field, was roaming side to side, good defender, but had a ton of extra base hits and really plays the game the right way.
Excellent. And then on that Laces team, it sounds like Oliver Brown was a standout as well for you.
Yeah, we had a guy from Alaska down there. Wasn't ready for that, and I'm watching this kid at third base, looks the part, 6'1", 175 pounds, projectable frame, and gets up there. Really nice balance at the plate from the right side, some line drives to all fields. Also hopped on the mound, showed off a quick arm. But, hey, Alaska on the map. Here we go.
No doubt about it, man. So there's a look at a few standouts from the Fall Championships as well as the PBR Cup at Lake Point this past weekend. Be sure to head to PrepBaseballReport.com as the hot list is going to have several more standouts for you to take a look at, including the guys we just mentioned today. So be sure to check that out. But as always, for Shooter Hunt, I'm Nathan Rohde. This was Coffee and Curveballs, and until next time, we'll see you guys at the ballpark.